Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup is back in 2017. 114 riders applied and tried out for positions, and now it's down to the 23 riders out there today to prove that they have what it takes. 8 countries are represented here, with riders flocking in from Japan, Australia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia and Turkey. These riders, aged between 15 and 20, will have some of the best names in the business, including Alberto Puig, Hiroshi Oyama and Danny Ribalta, there to assist and guide them on their quest to become champions. Their bikes have been tested, setups adjusted, and now it's time to get this 6-round, 12-race championship underway. Starting here in Thailand at the Chiang International Circuit, the championship will join the MotoGP World Championship in Qatar in just a couple of weeks' time, before heading to Suzuka in Japan, Sepang in Malaysia, Motegi in Japan, before then eventually returning for the final round back in Sepang in late October. Now in its 4th year, the Asia Talent Cup aims to bring young Asian talent to the world stage and to produce champions such as Kaito Toba, Ayumu Sasaki and Somkat Chantra. Both Toba and Sasaki are set to make their Moto3 World Championship debuts this year, and everyone on this packed grid is chomping at the bit to emulate their success. We have 5 riders back in the championship for a 2nd year, while the rest of the field are rookies out to prove their speed. Alexander Onku, Yuki Cooney and Azroy Anua are just some of the names that have topped the time sheets here in Thailand during testing and practice, but who will come out on top in this ferocious 16-lap battle here at the Chiang International Circuit? And here we are in Thailand, that familiar golden Buddha watching on over the Chiang International Circuit. Hello everybody, my name is Harry Lloyd, and joining me for this incredible first race of the Asia Talent Cup is Steve English. Of course, the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup is back yet again, has had huge success in the past. We've had some absolutely fantastic champions. As I was saying just a little minute ago, we have some familiar names joining us once again here in Thailand as temperatures continue to rise. 35 degrees out there. That's going to be really tricky conditions for all these young riders. Of course, fitness does play a huge role in motorcycle racing, and they have had a fitness program put in place over the winter. There you can see the grid just starting to form up there. Umbrellas shading everybody from the sun. It will be 16 laps around this 4.5 kilometre long Chiang International Circuit. There is the man on pole, Yuki Cooney, number 5. He was 6th in 2016, won a race in China and in Motegi, and definitely comes in as one of the favourites this year.
Definitely, Harry. I think if we were able to get betting odds in this championship, Cooney would be right up there at the top of the order. You can see here, Anwar as well, 2nd on the grid for the Malaysian. And I think when you look at this championship, Harry, as you said, it was over 100 riders all tried to make through the selection process in October at Sepang. And it is a championship that does actually generate a lot of interest in Asia and find a lot of talent too. We saw riders from Japan, Indonesia, Turkey, Malaysia, Australia and the Philippines all line up in the championship this season, but we've also seen from a couple of other countries as well from the region, and it's just exciting to be able to try and find that next generation of talent. Obviously, it's been quite a while since Asia had those front-running Grand Prix riders. Hiro Oyama, as you said, one of the rider coaches in this, the last Japanese rider to win a world championship, and that's in 2009, so a long time really for Asia to find that talent. And when you look at the Red Bull rookies, when you look at the CEV Championship, the Junior Moto3 World Championship, there is talent coming through, and it's coming through from this championship.
Yep, and of course this series is such a great feeder to get into those other championships. You know, there's a direct link to Red Bull rookies with Ayogura, who was very fast here last year. He'll be in the Red Bull rookies this year. He'll also be there alongside last year's champion Chantra in the CEV with the Honda Talent team there as well. So it is the best way to get your name out there and to go racing around the world.
And these guys will be supporting the MotoGP field as well in 2 weeks' time in Qatar, as you said. And Moto3 obviously will have the Qatar test as well next week, and that's where we'll again see Sasaki, the former champion here, and Toba and Noridin, also former Asia Talent Cup riders, and all on the Moto3 grid this year. I'm really excited actually to see how Sasaki does. An exciting talent that came through Asia Talent Cup into the Junior World Championship and now onto the full Moto3 World Championship, and he looks quick. He's been fast from the outset in every championship he's raced in, and I really think he could be one of those riders to keep an eye on and see what he can do through this season.
Exactly, and here we go. Number 7 there, Dennis Onku. The smallest rider I think I've ever seen in my entire time watching racing. He's absolutely tiny. Around this Chang circuit, he's going to be a weapon through that first sector with those 3 long straights.
Yeah, absolutely pint size there. Pint baby, really, from both of the Ansu brothers, the Ansu twins from Turkey, supported by Kenan Safoglu, like most Turkish riders. And you can see this is his twin brother now as well, Can Ansu. But can Ansu get a good result today, Harry?
Well, he did win the practice race here during testing, so he definitely comes in here with a bit of an outside chance, and starting a bit further down the grid in 9th place.
Of course, podium for both of the Ansu brothers in Sepang last year at the end of the Asia Talent Cup Championship, and this really is a championship that a little bit of experience does make a big difference. And you can see lucky number 13 as well now on the grid.
Now all these numbers do go down from 2 to about 24. I'm not sure if it was coincidence or if everybody did line that up, but yeah, lucky. He rides with number 13. You couldn't write this stuff, and the action is going to be just as good as that there out on track. There you can see fans already starting to come. Of course, lots of these riders very young, but already have some pretty significant fan bases here in Asia, especially for the Thai riders. There's Irfan from Insa, the Indonesian rider. As we said, huge, diverse range of nationalities. 8 Japanese riders, couple of Malaysian riders, couple of Turkish riders, couple of Filipino riders, an Australian rider, and then some Thai riders here for the home crowd as well. And motorcycling is so popular here. It's great to see all of these nations now having a chance to showcase the young talent, because it can be very difficult to get over to Europe. There's Koki Suzuki.
And the great thing about the Asia Talent Cup, and it'll be the same with the British Talent Cup, which was recently announced, is that the championship is actually free for these riders. You just have to pay for your travel and your accommodation costs, but the bikes and the racing is free. So it is a chance really for talent to come to the fore. If you remember, even back best part of 20 years ago, we saw this kind of Talent Cup situation in Spain that brought through the likes of Pedrosa, Stoner and a few others, and even Chaz Davis, of course, World Superbike rider as well. And that's really what we hope to see as well. The Asia Talent Cup, the British Talent Cup, there's also the German and Northern European Talent Cup.
Yeah, exactly. There is so many initiatives now to try and bring through as much young talent, but right now we are focused on the Asia Talent Cup. As we said, we do have 23 riders starting. Unfortunately, number 19, Suhami, has unfortunately had to withdraw due to an injury he sustained, but we do have 23 riders lining up there, all with the same leathers and same bike liveries. Slightly different helmets. The helmets supplied by Arai Helmets with some stock designs on there, so a bit of difference with those, but it's a nice challenge for us commentators to pick out all of these young kids there, and it does get very hectic. Racing here is really tooth and claw. All of these bikes are exactly the same, so it's down to the rider to make the difference.
Yes, if there's one thing we need in this, it's an extra challenge, Harry. When you look at the names, it's not too easy for an Irishman and an Australian to pick out some of them, but you can see now everyone just getting ready for the start of the formation lap. And this is Yamanaka, actually, arguably the title favourite as well. It looks like it'll be between him and Cooney, 2 riders with a lot of experience from last year. Of course, Cooney had 2 wins, and Yamanaka had 5 podiums last season. So you would imagine those 2 guys to use that experience early in the season. But the great thing about the Asia Talent Cup, especially here in Thailand, is that it's almost impossible to predict what's going to happen, because it's got so many long straights there where you use the slipstream, and last year we just had huge gaggles of riders up and down the field.
Exactly, it is such a great circuit start. Of course, this is their first time out on track in anger. They did have a 2-day test here about a week ago where they did, 2 full days of testing, and they did a lot of work on, the procedures of racing. They did lots of practicing going to the grid, lining up, all that sort of thing there. We can see the temperatures once again, 47 degrees on track. That's absolutely scorching hot. And then the air temperature well above 30 degrees. Also so humid here. It's already starting to get very, very hot, and we're only just past midday. So it's going to be a big challenge for all of these young kids. There you can see them just circulating with the safety car going behind. But yeah, as I was saying, the Asia Talent Cup, it's not just about learning to race. It's about learning to be the best rider you can be. They study English, they do, media training and all these sort of things to try and be the complete package that you need to be now to be a top-level professional rider.
And that's really the key thing, Harry. It's that so many guys have talent, but who's actually able to use that talent? Who's able to work with the media? Who's able to gain those advantages to make you more and more attractive? As you see, with more and more TV coverage, it gets more and more important that you're able to sell yourself as well. And even just in the Asia Talent Cup, this goes out to over 30 countries, live in a lot of them, and worldwide on MotoGP.com, WorldSBK.com as well. And really, it does give a shop window for these guys, and they've got to show that they deserve those opportunities that come up in, whether it's the Junior Moto3 World Championship or the Moto3 World Championship.
Exactly, and we can see that, that shop window really does work. As we said, Sasaki and Toba, they're there. We have Nakra and Adarat Fugapat. He's joining the World Championship this year. He used to race here as well. It is the best way for a lot of these Asian riders to get out there and notice as they do make their way down the back straight, just heading into Turn 12. Turn 12 is going to be an interesting corner for this race, for sure. It's about 110 degrees, incredibly tight last corner, and a lot of these kids are going to be a bit late on the brakes, I'd say.
Yeah, we did see last year in race 1, Shantra just put it down the inside, ran everyone wide, nearly got a time penalty and got dropped from either the win or second position back to 4th. But yeah, that last corner, always exciting, always drama. But just about to get started now. 16-lap race, and you would imagine, Harry, this is going to be just absolutely filled with drama.
Exactly. Don't take your eyes off the screen, because all of these guys are going to be right there in the mix together. It's going to be tooth and claw. As we said, all these Honda bikes are exactly the same. It is down to the riders. Just once again, it is Cooney on pole ahead of Anwar, and Yamanaka there in 3rd place. That's number 5, number 20 and number 12. There we can see Cooney there with the blue and red helmet just ahead of Anwar, the Malaysian rider. Okay, here we go. Turn your attention to the top left-hand corner where the lights are. They will go on, and when we go off, we will be away racing. And they lurch off the line, everybody getting cleanly off the line. There looks like it was a pretty good start from Cooney as they start the pretty significant run down to the line. Big start there from number 12, Yamanaka. Looks like he is in the lead right there. Great start from the Japanese rider, but you can see everybody is right there. Looks like we have Lucky up there as well, alongside number 9, Noguchi, another Japanese rider there towards the front of the field.
Good start from Yamanaka and Noguchi. We saw them both just coming down the inside into turn 1, but you can see number 9 there taking the lead with Noguchi. But look at Cooney coming all the way from 3rd into the lead.
Already some big moves and some riders getting stood up there further behind. It does look like it is Noguchi who has taken a big crash there.
Number 18. So it's Suzuki that's gone down.
Hopefully he will be okay there. You can see a couple of riders already starting to take slightly different lines. Looks like that's the other Suzuki there taking a bit of a different line. It is number 5, Cooney, who does lead right now. But as you can see, all these guys are within just a couple of bike lanes. Couple of people running wide there. Fair few very wide. Number 12 there, Yamanaka, back up the inside. Great little battle here at the front between Yamanaka, Cooney and Noguchi there as well.
And you can see typical gaggle of riders at the front of the field in the Asia Talent Cup. Helter-skelter stuff in these early laps, always in the ATC. But the real key thing is, can any of these riders just keep it calm, and can they just try and just avoid making those big mistakes, avoid seesawing from the front to the back of the group? Last year, if you remember, Shantra, very good at just being able to stay in that lead group. Same for the race leader now, Yamanaka, and also for Cooney. They were just able to consistently be in that right position.
Exactly, and that is one thing that you will notice about watching this, is a lot of these riders are taking slightly different lines. Here we go, some big moves there into the corner.
And onboard shots as well from the Asia Talent Cup race this year. I tell you what, these onboards could be really interesting through the year.
They certainly could. There you can see as we come down the start-finish straight for the first time, it is Yamanaka who leads from Noguchi and Cooney. A Japanese 1-2-3 with Anwar there in 4th ahead of Kaizwanthi, the Thai rider in 5th, Jerry Salem there in 6th, and then the Onku twins in 7th and 8th. look at that slipstream in effect. Those top three, those three Japanese riders have broken away. It does look like it's Cooney who's going for the inside. Yamanaka hunting for a way through, gets through on Noguchi. Noguchi goes from first down to third as they come round that tight turn 3.
Right, the gap between the leading 3 was a second over the line. Let's see how much that slipstream has allowed the second group to come in as they come up through to the second sector's ends at the exit of the next corner, at the exit of turn 4. So we'll see if that slipstream is able just to really give you that advantage. You can see it's still Yamanaka out in front from Noguchi and Cooney, but running wide in the back of the picture as well, you can see lucky number 13, so just getting himself just pushed out a little bit through turn 4. But this lead trio, as we said, Harry, these are the 3 that I think coming into the season you definitely would have thought Yamanaka and Cooney would be right up there in terms of 2 of the title favourites.
Yeah, certainly. You know, Yamanaka, he got 4 podiums, last year. He was 4th overall in the championship with them. Cooney was 6th last year. So these guys do have the experience on these bikes and at a lot of these circuits. Of course, we will be going to Suzuka for the first time, which will be a very exciting race to watch.
And as you said, that experience does make a big difference. But if the youngest man in the three that's trying to get to the front, number 9, Noguchi, only 15 years of age, and really, in this kind of championship, if you're able to come in and make a splash right from the outset, that's really one of the things that talent spotters are looking. But you can see Onsu just able to really close that gap. We said it was a second last time around. He's right there with that lead group now, fastest lap of the race.
146.8. Everybody else is in the 147s. So absolutely rapid lap there from young Dennis Onku. Well, they're twins, so I'm not sure exactly who is younger, but he's definitely the smaller of the 2 twins. Now watch him down the straight, because as we said, he is absolutely tiny. You can barely see him outside the bubble. He's going to gain huge amounts on these 3 Japanese riders. Nice and late on the brakes there from the number 7, while Yamanaka defends his lead. Nice tight line there ahead of Cooney and Noguchi. Really nice little battle here with the top 4. Can that second group with about 5 riders in it, starting with Aniwa and going down to about Hirama in 9th place. Can they catch up? There are still 14 laps to go. It's a long race for these young kids.
Yeah, and it's around about a second of a gap between Onsu in 4th and Anwar in 5th. But Jerry Salim in 6th. And Jerry Salim on the number 4 did win last year in Qatar, so we know he's got experience, we know he's got speed, and now he just needs to make sure he can get to the front of that group and close the gap to this leading 4. We saw how easy Onsu was able to close that gap, and really that is the one thing with the Talent Cup. If you can pick up that slipstream, it gives you a big advantage, but as people fight, they just cost themselves so much time.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it's all chopping and changing as Onku does take the lead there ahead of the number 5 of Cooney. It does look like Noguchi's maybe dropped off the back of that group a tiny bit. Oh no, he's still there. Looks like some leaves getting blown across the tracks. Wind starting to pick up, which could have an effect on these tiny bikes.
It's very rare that you see someone really pull away and open a gap in the ATC. Last year in Qatar, Shantra managed to do that in one of the races, and he won by 7 or 8 seconds. But we saw how comfortable Onsu was able to bridge that gap. Can he actually open a gap over these guys? Maybe if they start fighting, he might be just given that opportunity.
There you can see that gap too. The second group has visually closed now. They are all one big group. The top 11 riders all there together. It's about half a second between Noguchi and Anwar in 5th place there. So nice and tight as the race continues to just wind on. It is still Onku who does lead ahead of Yamanaka and Cooney, but watch out now, the number 12 of Yamanaka does go for the inside, but it is Cooney on the number 5, leg out just like Valentino Rossi, snags the lead, 3rd to 1st. What a great move from the young Japanese rider.
Strong stuff to get back to the front, but you can see just how much that group is now basically together as one, with 5th and 6th really right there with them. As the fight continues at the front, it does just open the door for everyone else to join them. So we should have a 7-bike lead group now, and you can see just through turn 4, it is now 7 bikes together. And in behind that, then you're waiting for the number 6 of Ardian Shah in the next group. And Ardian Shah, again, another guy with a lot of experience. You can see a replay here at the start. If you look down into turn 1 on the inside, that's whenever you start to see Yamanaka and Noguchi come really close to one another just on the way through.
Very tight corner, that first corner there, so good to see everybody get through there okay. Well, almost a bit of contact there between Yamanaka and that looks like Cooney there at the start. That always happens. Here we go on board with Onku.
The Fred Flintstone start as well there, but you can see just on the way through to turn 1 just how close it is with these guys. Similar machinery to what we see in Moto3, so it does help for the likes of Sasaki, as we said, that's moved from the CEV to the Moto3 Championship from this, and it does help when you see the likes of
Kaito Toba.
And also going into Red Bull rookies this year is Ayagura, so it'll just help him to come through the championships. And you can see there just the replay of the crash for Suzuki, the only retirement from the race so far.
Yeah, exactly. Number 18, Suzuki, is unfortunately out, but this battle at the front does continue to hot up as our group of 7 has now once again become a group of about 8 or 9. There you can see a big train of riders currently led by the number 20 of Anua. That could all change here as Noguchi looks for a way through, slightly wide on corner exit. Can he try and get it around the outside? No, he can't. Ambitious move there. Fair bit of camber in that corner actually, so you can try and take the high line. There you can see a couple of different helmet designs in there. Look at that beautiful, perfect slipstreaming from all those riders, getting nice and tucked in right behind those lead riders. No doubt Hiroshi Oyama, of course, the last 2 50cc world champion, who have taught them all about the importance of slipstream. Is number 5, who currently leads ahead of 7 and 9. That is Kuni, Onku, and Noguchi with Yamanaka still looking on in 4th. It is all chop and change at the front there with Azuri Anua, the rider from Kuala Lumpur, now dropping down to 5th after briefly leading. And
just to basically reiterate the point, you can see just how pointless it can be at the start of the race to think anyone's going to get through it. Initially we had 3 riders at the front, but you can see running off there. It looks like Onsu.
Yep, Onsu has run wide there. He did stick his hand straight away to show that he had made a mistake. It looks like he has now dropped way down the field. Maybe he actually has a problem because he is dropping quite rapidly down. Our timing is currently in 15th place now, outside the points as he continues to drop down.
A shame for Onsu there after getting back to the front. But just basically you can see with this huge gaggle of riders, now 10 riders all close together. Just as we get into the second third of the race, this is where we really start to see who's got that bit of racecraft, who's able to get to the front and stay out of trouble. We saw Onsu run into a bit of trouble there. Whether it was an issue with the bike or a mistake for him, we're not sure yet.
And it does look like he has actually recovered there. Looks like he dropped down our timing, so maybe just missed that timing sector. There you go. Watch the number 7 bike there, second on your screen. Bit of a moment mid-corner, forced to stand up, sticks his hand up to say that he has made a mistake and not going to take an advantage from that one. Excellent racecraft there from the young Turkish rider, then slides back in. Yeah, it looks like he ran on and therefore just missed the timing beam, so that's why he dropped down our timing swings, but now he is back up as they go through. Oh, and he gets stood up once again. Not sure it was who stood him up, but poor little Dennis Onku has had a rough couple of laps there, but he is still in that lead group there. We can see from number 5 down to number 13, Henry Insa in 11th place. They are all there, all within just a couple of bike lengths, all benefiting from the slipstream, which does help to keep all these little bikes together as Kuni opens up about a third of a second advantage over his countryman Yamanaka there in 2nd place. Great riding as we see them come around turn 5 and through the left-hander turn 6. This is really attractive 2 halves. We have the first half of the lap, which is very fast and flowing, and we have the second half lap, which is tight and twisty, so it really pushes a rider.
Yeah, and a bit of a bobble there from Kuni that's opened the door for Yamanaka just to get back through and take the lead. So the lead just changing hands here a couple of times now in the ATC, and really, as we said, like, it will change quite a lot over the course of the remaining 10.5 laps, and we just need to see who's able to consistently stay in that top 3, top 4. If you're able to do that, that's the guys that are going to be right there in the fight for the win. When it's a group of 11 like this, it's easy just to, as you can see, just try and get down the inside for Onsu there to take 3rd, but it's easy just to make those moves, use the slipstream, but to actually stay at the front is a big challenge. That's why with Kuni and Yamanaka, the 2 guys that we said right from the outset that we're probably going to start as the 2 title favourites, they've consistently been able to be in those top 3 or 4 positions.
Exactly, slightly wider line there from number 7 of Onku, but it is still Yamanaka who does lead ahead of Kuni. As Steve was quite rightly saying, great consistency from both of these riders. I guess the Japanese riders have a slight advantage as their domestic series is in relatively good shape and continues to produce some great riders, but you know, Dennis Onku there from Turkey sliding through, getting forced just a bit wide there as he gets stood up. Great racing out the front here. Number 9 Noguchi there back in the lead. Look at the size difference between number 9 and number 7. All these guys are young kids, but as we said, Onku is absolutely minuscule, pint-sized, as Steve quite rightly said, but it is 4 abreast as we come down through turn 4. Big long section of left-handers here.
And you can see Onsu just really into turn 5 trying to make a move, or just shadow down the inside of Kuni as well. Just aggressive stuff from him, but really at this point of the race, not that important to be that aggressive. This is all about trying to get to the end. It's almost like Actually, if you look at Phillip Island World Superbike Race 1, Jonathan Racehead, it was like a bicycle race, just trying to make sure you were in the right position in the train, and that's exactly what this is. Even more so than what we see in Moto 3, because this is a one-make series, it's even more important just to be in that right position at the end to be able to take advantage of the slipstreams.
Exactly, this race will almost certainly come down to that final corner and then the eventual drag to the line, as we see Yamanaka again look for a way up the inside, but it is Onku who does continue to defend his line as they make their way across the start finish straight yet again. Here we can really see a good demonstration of the slipstream. Watch for Cooney. There you can see all their pitboards. It's difficult to see a pitboard if you're a rider there.
Yeah, I think in this lead group, I don't think anyone's looking at the pitboard there. Just focusing on the guy in front of them and trying to get back past. But it is difficult for everyone because all the boards come out at the exact same time, because you've got a leading group of 11 and just trying to figure out where your board is. You're basically looking just for a rider number. It's a big challenge for them, but this is where you could see Pint Baby onto get down the inside into the final corner, and followed by Yamanaka as well.
And of course, being small and lightweight isn't just a benefit down the straight, it's also a benefit in braking, as you're not having to stop as much weight, so there's less force, less physics going on there, so you can brake that a little bit later. And it does look like he has opened up just a couple of bike lengths, but as we've seen already, you know, a 0.3 second gap, a half second gap is not worth much. All these riders will catch you up, and if you make just one tiny mistake, then you will have about 6 other angry teenagers breathing down your neck.
What I'm interested to see is, you can see on the timing tower on the left hand side of the screen, position 9, Jerry Salim. Lots of experience, 3rd year racing in this series. He's won races, but he hasn't made any sort of moves through this pack. He's just stayed at the back. You can see number 4, the red helmet, but stayed at the back of the pack and just biding his time. Does he actually have the pace to get through it? It's been a difficult weekend for Salim. Started on the 3rd row, so a little bit out of position from what I think a lot of people were expecting from him. But let's see if he's able to get through. You can see Dennis Onsu's opened up a half-second lead, but we know he's got pace. The key thing is going to be whether or not Yamanaka and number 20 Anwar actually work together, or whether they try and fight with each other for second, because that would be what would give Dennis Onsu the gap to make a break. But over the line, 0.4 of a second, so you imagine into turn 2, into turn 3, the hairpin, that gap will be disappeared.
Yep, certainly all of these bikes are able to fully stretch their legs of this Honda Moto 3 machine. Of course, this Honda is quite a bit different to the Honda machine that you see racing in the Moto 3 World Championship. This is the customer machine, the bike that, you know, in theory, you or I, Steve, could go out and race, although I'm not sure that either of us would fit on there. Big leg out there from Cooney once again as he makes up a couple of positions. Able to just hold his line. A couple of different lines being taken through all of these corners here. That's the other great thing about the Asia Talent Cup, is that every point on the circuit is an overtaking point if you're an Asia Talent Cup rider.
Yeah, most certainly. It's rostrum or hospital really for pretty much the entire race.
And there, as you quite rightly said, Onsu's gap has already been closed. He now does have the likes of Anwar, Yamanaka and Cooney breathing down his neck. It looks like who's that? It looks like Yamanaka is there right behind him as we look back at the number 12.
Yeah, and just behind him you can see the number 3 of Kan Onsu as well, and he's just bridged that gap to the leaders as well. Now, it was just about a half a second at the start of the lap, but he's already right with them. As we said, just using that slipstream does put you right there, and you can see the number 3 there right in to make it a leading group of 5.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Azroy Anwar, the number 20 rider, the Malaysian, 17 years old, from Kuala Lumpur, he has taken the lead, so it is still chop and change. We are now almost at half race distance with 8 laps to go. 20 leads 7, leads 5. That is Anwar, Onsu, Cooney, and then Yamanaka there in 4th. But it is all continuing to chop and change, continuing to close up and expand as we come into this famous final corner here in Thailand. Turn 12. Then onto the main straight. Watch out for the number 7 there. It's going to be like a rocket ship past the number 20 of Anwar. There we go. Almost banging bars, weaving to try and break the slipstream, but it is Onsu who does lead through turn 1 now onto another massive straight, so no doubt he will be able to open up just a couple of bike lengths advantage. Big look back there from Yamanaka as well, just trying to see who else is there. Surprise, it's everybody.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, and we're just coming into the second half of the race now, so still lots of time left in this one, but really everyone's just riding like it's the last lap of the race. You can see lock, stock all the way through to the entry of turn 3 there, as everyone gets on the brakes hard and the entire order changes on the way through turn 2.
Yep, exactly. Cooney is now back in the lead ahead of Anua, and you are hard on the stops there, trying to get it stopped. But there is still so much to decide. You know, any one of these top 11 riders realistically could still be in with a shout of this race. There is just so much left to decide as they go, what's that, 6 abreast through down into turn 5 as they come past our commentary box. Great view of the circuit from our commentary box and from the main grandstand, I must say. You really do have to get out to the Buriram, so it's an absolutely fantastic one to come and watch as they continue to snake their way back over turn 7 and run down to turn 8.
It is actually one of the better circuits to come to through the season, Harry, as well. It is a bit like Valencia insofar as in the grandstand you can see the entire track. I was actually talking to a couple of Irish guys in the hotel today that come out, they're working out here, and Thailand is their World Superbike round of the year, and it's hard to beat it just for virtue of the fact that with the Asia Talent Cup, with World Supersport, with World Superbike and the Thai Championship, there is a lot of racing here, and you're able to see everything from just one point in the grandstand. Keep in the shade, keep out of the heat, and it's actually not too bad.
Exactly, it is great, and there we go, the top riders are across the line. From Anua in first to Jerry Salem down in 10th place, just under 2 seconds with 6 laps to go, so still a lot to be decided. That is Anua, who was very strong in testing here. He did lead both days of testing, but had a bit of trouble once the weekend got started. Looks like Yamanaka, number 12 there, is looking for a way through, as is Cooney, Noguchi and Onsu. All those familiar names from this race are still right up there. Big move from Cooney, hard on the brakes, foot coming out.
It's Jerry Salim just coming down the inside into third, so then finally starting to make some moves to get into that lead group.
Number 20, look, neck and neck there, right beside each other. This is the sort of racing that motorcycle fans absolutely love. Bar to bar, elbow to elbow, as Anua does continue to lead around.
I was wrong. It's Jerry Slim still at the back of that group, but you can see just this leading group of 5 just all just trying to get down the inside, attack each other, and the Onsu twins, could they start working together as well, Harry? Has been known to see brothers work together on a racetrack every now and then.
Yeah, we certainly have, and very rare that we get to see twins out on track. Of course, the Lowe's twins, they've competed in the same championships at the same time, but haven't raced in the same series for a good long while, so we'll have to see if there is any brotherly love, or if it is a case of the first person you have to beat is your brother, because everybody here is technically teammates, because it's one big team. But anyway, Yamanaka there up the inside of the number 9 of Noguchi. The Japanese riders continuing to show very, very well in this race, but it is Anua, the Malaysian rider, who does continue to lead. There we can see him just trying to weave out of the way to break the slipstream, does manage to lead through into that first corner.
And it's 2.5 seconds now between the front to the back of this train for the top 11. And I have to say, I am surprised that Salim and Ardian Shah are both 8th and 9th. You can see just at the top of the screen, really struggling. But you'd have to say now, the leading 5 look like they've broken away from the next group behind them. Just the next group not quite having the pace. But you can see down the inside is Nagoya again. And really just making the moves, just being aggressive, putting it in there, but it's difficult to make the move and make it stick into that corner. Really, whenever you see the guys coming from so far behind, it's a big challenge just to actually pull the bike up and make it stop.
Exactly. So many different lines being taken here as we see Cooney again. Cooney versus Onsu. It's been like that for so long. Slightly different lines as we see them run just outside in that turn 5, 6, 7 complex. Those 3 corners all flowing together so nicely. You really do have to get your line right through there, because if you mess up your exit on just one part of that section of corners, then it can really, really hurt you a fair little bit as we look back at the number 7 of Onsu.
And of course, just when you look at this lead group, most of the guys quite experienced, so 16, 17 years of age, but the Onsu brothers, 13 years of age, and really putting it to the rest of the field in this race. You can see Dennis in second, probably going to try and make a move into the final corner now underneath Cooney.
Yep, and a bit of a shout out to any of our Australian fans listening in. Number 16 is in 16th place. That is Reid Batty from Gosford in Australia. He's just there outside the points, about a second from scoring a potential point in 15th place there. So hopefully we will see him. Yep, he has now moved up into 15th, so great from the Australian there.
4 laps to go now, and this is really where you need to start putting yourself into that right position over the next couple of laps, just that on the last 2 you're able to really move through to the field.
And watch out for your boy Jerry Salen there, Steve. He is up into 6th place, the number 4 in 6th, just at the back of this group as we see them go 3 abreast into that big sweeping turn 3. Very popular overtaking spot in this race so far, that turn 3. A lot of camber, as we said before, so you can try and take the wider line to carry a bit more speed through.
I am a big fan of Jerry Slim just because it's an easy name to say for a European, but was quite impressive last year. Did get through to the front quite a lot. As we said, won in Qatar, but this leading group now just coming through the midfield section. Just looking at a replay now, but all change through the midfield section as well. But still Anwar that's at the front. But really, I think now with 3.5 laps to go, you can see everyone's just starting to ramp it up a little bit now, get themselves into those right positions. And Ansu, again, just every time you see him, he's just putting the move down the inside of someone. Yeah,
and you can see how close this race is. We have had the lead change 4 times in just this lap alone. So it is very, very intense out there as that lead group does now swell once again to include the likes of Anwar, Cooney, Ansu, Noguchi, Yamanaka, Salen, Harama and Kaiswanthi.
And at the top of the screen you can see number 3, so that's the other Ansu, Kan Ansu, in 9th as his brother takes the lead. But it looks like Ansu and Ardian Sarah both out of this now, so the winners will come from the leading 8 that are all right in line with one another as they come across the line. It's Dennis Ansu leading. Ansu, of course, has set the fastest lap of the race. We know he's got the pace, but actually breaking away from people almost impossible around this Chang International Circuit.
Exactly. There's only been a couple of times in the entire 4-year history of this championship that we've seen any race decided by more than a second. So this is typical action. Be sure, if this is your first time watching the Asia Talent Cup, be sure to tune in tomorrow for race 2 and be sure to join us for all the other rounds as we see Cooney there, bit loose, bit wild on the brakes, but does slide his way into 2nd place.
Yeah, and it's Anwar that was really wide on the way in. And Harry, if anyone hasn't seen Asia Talent Cup racing, where have they been?
I don't know, Steve. They must have been living under a rock because this is absolutely thrilling. As you see, 3 abreast out of turn 3 as they charge down towards turn 4. Just ease off the throttle and slide through that fast left-hander, making their way down further, closer to turn 5, just in front of us.
And you can see number 8, Buriram, just trying to go around the outside of everyone. Really, this is the first time he's actually come through to the front of the group. You're staring at him just back from the onboard camera. But this is the first time he's been starting to make some moves and try and get to the front of this group. But you can see it's still Ansu trying to get down the inside of Anwar to take the lead. Cooney in 3rd position now as well. 2 laps to go when they come across the line in a couple of seconds' time. But really, when you look at this lead group, any one of them can win this race.
Certainly they can, exactly as we said, that last corner so tight. We are going to see somebody with a very ambitious move. I can guarantee that. They've already had some pretty ambitious moves as we see them charge down, fan out as they try and get the inside line for this turn 12. It is number 12, Yamanaka, who does try and get the tie line, slides up, gains a couple of positions there, but it is still number 5 and number 7, Cooney and Ansu, who do lead out the front as they go elbow to elbow down the straight, side by side.
Yeah, and Harama in 3rd now as well, under attack from Yamanaka. The first time in this race, really, where Yamanaka has had to come through the pack as well. So this is really what you need to see from riders like that. The guys that, as we said, can stay at the front, they're the ones to keep an eye on. But you know, the likes of Salim being able to work his way through the pack methodically in the last couple of laps, also quite impressive. But you can see Cooney just runs in a little bit deep. He did this last time around as well and just tried to hook up the exit. But with only a lap and a half to go, you need to hit your markers here.
Exactly, this is the time to start. Try to be consistent. We can't run wide because there will be 3 or 4 other riders looking for the inside. There's a marshal on track. Looks like we might have a crash down there. Not 100% sure. That is disappointing for the number 8 rider there. As you said, Koji Harama, just 16 years old from Japan. has crashed out at turn 3. He was just clearly trying to push just a bit too hard. Just 2 laps to go, the penultimate lap here. Now it is Cooney who leads. He's been one of the more consistent riders throughout this race, alongside Onsu and Yamanaka there in that lead group. Now a pretty big gap between the leaders down to the other Onsu twin in 8th place. So it will be one of these 8 riders who do win this race, unless there is some absolutely massive drama at the last corner. But it doesn't look like we will be seeing the winner from either Cooney, Onsu, Yamanaka, Anura, Noguchi, Kaizwanti, Salen, or the other Onsu.
And you can see Yamanaka there just getting a little bit impatient, just trying to make his moves. He wants to get probably into the right position then to attack on the way into turn 1 and into the hairpin. But you can see Onsu goes in way too deep into that last corner, drops from the lead to 3rd, and he's going to be under attack on the way over the line from the likes of Anwar and Nuguri.
Exactly. Here we go. Last lap, the last time through turn 1. It is Cooney who leads ahead of Yamanaka. It is currently a Japanese 1-2. Of course, Cooney has won before. Many of these other riders haven't. Can somebody take their debut win, or will Cooney's experience shine through as they weave their way down the straight?
Yeah, look at Onsu all the way around, the long way around the outside of Cooney. Cooney, of course, won twice last year. Yamanaka, 5 podiums, no wins. Onsu took 1 podium last year in Sepang.
Yep, big moves there, and it is now the Turkish rider who does lead, once again recovering from that mistake out of the final corner. He does lead ahead of Yamanaka, Cooney and Anwar yet again, but it is still so much. Could Jerry Salem there, the number 4 in 6th place? Looks like he's making a move up the inside. Has he kept his powder dry for this last lap, using those 2 other years of experience in this championship? Number 15 there, Kaizwanti, he's having a go as well. Bit of a hard move there.
And that's probably going to be the gap that Onsu needs to be able to get away from the field. But you can see Yamanaka really aggressive, gets back down the inside to take 2nd. But looking at that gap, you'd have to imagine Onsu is just too far in front now. But Yamanaka, we saw last year just how impressive he can be. So maybe he'll be able just to get close and try something on the way into the final corner. But it's a big ask for him. And right now it's Dennis Onsu, the 13-year-old Turkish rider, Pint Baby, out in front. And looking set to take his first win and 2nd podium in the Asia Talent Cup. But who's going to join him on the podium?
Exactly, here we go. The run down to turn 12. This is where we made some big moves there from Anwar, the number 20. Watch out behind Onsu there. It does look like it is Anwar who does slide just ahead of Yamanaka, but it is going to be all about the dragon line. Dennis Onku takes his first ever Asia Talent Cup victory. The big number 1 held up there by the number 7 rider. Then it does look like it is Anwar ahead of Yamanaka. A thrilling end to a thrilling Asia Talent Cup race. And there we see Suzuki cross the line and claim the top 10 just ahead of Hendrienza there in 11th place. Great racing. There you can see it by the timing tower on the left-hand side of his screen. It is Onsu ahead of Anwar, ahead of Yamanaka, ahead of Kaizwanti. Great result for the Thai ride in front of his home fans. Jerry Salem there up into 5th place ahead of Noguchi, the other Onsu brother. Cooney there dropping down to 8th after leading for so much of the race and being, almost dead set for the podium, it looks like. Then Adrienza there in 9th ahead of Suzuki, Hedrienza, Hattori, and then Fitovarak, the wild card here this weekend, the number 25.
Yeah, we need to have a look just at that last couple of corners just to see what happened to Cooney, because he had been in the right position for pretty much the whole race. So just to see how he actually dropped down to 8th in this race. Really, he's now 17 points behind Onsu in the championship after this one round. And really, for the likes of Cooney, a man that has to really be in title contention this season, just to give up a lot of points in this opening round, that's a big disappointment for him. We saw at least Yamanaka able to get back to the front and get on the podium, so at least able to salvage decent points for the Japanese rider. But it's all about Onsu taking that first win in the Asia Talent Cup for himself.
Yeah, exactly. Great. He is ecstatic there. Look at that, waving to all of the fans. As we said, the grandstands are starting to get packed out already here ahead of the World Superbike Super Pole, followed by World Super Sport Super Pole, and then race 1. Oh, look at that. Made up 7 positions from his grid spot as well. Huge improvements there. Not so great for Cooney, who there you can see lost 7 positions. But a great race. And of course, there will be a second race about the same time tomorrow, so be sure to join us for that second race. Can the likes of Cooney get their revenge, or will Pint Baby Onsu leave as the championship leader and do the double?
Tell you what, a 13-year-old talking about him doing the double, it's impressive. Impressive stuff from the young Turkish rider. And as we said, this is the kind of thing that puts you in the shop window to be able to get opportunities in the Junior World Championship in Red Bull Rookies. And really, that's exactly what the 13-year-old needs to do at this stage.
And especially when he has the likes of someone like Keenan's Froglu there helping him. Of course, Froglu unfortunately not here this weekend through injury, but having a star of that caliber behind you is going to help, not only giving you tips out on track, but just help with everything there. You can see a huge spacer to push him forward on the bike. He is so small, his feet aren't even touching the ground there.
Yeah, and you can compare that to Anwar beside him with no spacer at all. It just shows just how pint-sized Ansu really is. But he might be small, but a lot of heart to take that win.
And he still has the biggest smile down there in Parc Fermé on his face after claiming his first victory. And all of this again is teaching them how to be riders, how to react, how to handle the press questions down there. There's Anwar very pleased with himself, flashing the peace sign. Zulfami Karadin down there, of course, World Supersport front runner, giving him some tips. He's been helping him all weekend. Fair few posts on Zulfami's Instagram about helping his fellow Malaysian.
And Fami, of course, sponsored by the Sepang International Circuit. Always been trying to help Malaysian riders come through. He has an office actually at Sepang with a gym inside it, and he's at that circuit most of the time, just working with different riders from Malaysia, working with the circuit to try and just ensure that there is talent coming through in Malaysia.
And there we can see the number 3, the third place rider, I should say, sorry, Yamanaka there in 12th place. Not in 12th place, number 12 in 3rd place. Nice little hat there.
See Manuel Pichetti down in Parc Fermé as well. We talked about Keenan Safoglu being involved. But now Ansu will go and see Pichetti, first man to shake hands with after he takes the win, and Kyle Wright down there as well.
Look at that, absolutely ecstatic. That's what you like to see after a nice hard race, No drama in the press conference or anything like that. Just a very happy boy, happy with his first ever Asia Talent Cup victory, getting his season started on the exact right foot that it needs to, and he'll be looking to do it all again a little later. You
can see just the results under review just for who finished 4th between Jerry Salim and
everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else. But number 15,
Ansu, Cooney, all could be in that mix there, as you can see them down there in Parc Fermé. Just getting their hats on. Of course, hat's a big part of racing. Got to get the right sponsor hat on. Got to put the hat the right way around. So all important training there. Look, Jonathan Ray down there as well. That's great to see, isn't it? Jonathan especially really is looking to in the future, once his racing career does start to wind down, is looking to set up, some junior teams. And who knows? Maybe we'll see little Ansu there riding for Ray Racing one day.
The one thing about the WorldSBK paddock compared to some other paddocks is that really you just get to see just how much passion all the riders have for racing in general. You can see here's the full results for Ansu claiming his first win in the Asia Talent Cup. Managed to take it by a half a second, so a comfortable win by Asia Talent Cup standards, Harry.
Exactly, and there we can see Azroy Anwar in second ahead of Ryusu Yamanaka. Kaizwanthi there, the Thai rider, great result for him. Jerry Salim ahead of Hiroki Noguchi. Kan Ansu, the other Ansu brother, Cooney, Adienza, then Takuto Suzuki there ahead of Lucky, number 13, crosses the line in 11th place. Maxi Hattori ahead of the other Thai rider there, and there we can see, unfortunately, DNFs for Harama and Suzuki there. Of course, Suzuki following on one of the opening laps, and then Harama making it quite far in the race before, unfortunately, dropping out of the race while contesting the top 10, which would have been a very solid result. And then the math isn't too hard for the Riders' Championship. Of course, 25 points, the same points as in most World Championships for Ansu there, ahead of Anwar Yamanaka there in the top 3. Still a lot to play for. These riders are still young, so sometimes they can have inconsistent results. There are some circuits they get on better with others, so it's still very early days for this 12-race, 6-round Asia Talent Cup.
Yes, and leading Thai rider in 4th as well. Thailand has had consistent success in the ATC. 3 times a home winner at the ATC round. But will we have another Thai winner tomorrow? Probably more likely to see a podium man for this home crowd. But you can see the podium man just getting a lift to the podium ceremonies on the far side of the racetrack. But you can see this is just some of the replay of the action in the closing stages of the race, with Ansu just getting back down the inside and really just getting the drive to get back in front of Yamanaka. Good move to take the lead.
Yeah, really experienced move there, as I say. Looked like he was running a bit wide, but clearly he just wanted to take a different line and hold that title line on the exit of turn 3, and then after that, he got a little help from the likes of Kai Zwanthi there, you know, with a bit of an aggressive move to spread out the field. But fair play to Onsu. He was up there, did drop down after running wide off track a little bit there. You can see them just walking towards the podium. Very clear difference between the heights of all three of those riders, and neither Anua or Yamanaka are exactly giants, so Onsu is definitely one to watch. And there you can just hear them chatting as well, all chatting away in English. Of course, 3 different languages there. English does quickly become the universal language of the Asia Talent Cup because we do have such a wide variety of riders from all over the Asia region. Which also, you know, them all speaking English with each other does help them to improve their English, as you were rightly saying before, Steve. With media also from all over the world, English can often be the de facto language of communication in the motorcycle racing world. Up on the podium, the same podium that the World Superbike riders will be climbing on a little later today. Who those 3 riders will be, we're yet to decide, but for now it is Onsu, Anua and Yamanaka. The Turkish flag draped around his shoulders, already with the drink bottle, turning it so you can see the sponsor signal. What a pro he is. Big wave to the crowd, absolutely beaming from ear to ear for the Turkish rider. Big wave there. Look, he's almost as tall as his competitors when he's on the top step and they're on the 2nd and 3rd step. Just as we await the trophies, there we go. 3rd place for Yamanaka. He'll be looking to go a couple better in race 2, as we said, same time tomorrow. There's Manuel Pachetti there clapping on. Could he potentially sign another Turkish rider when Keenan retires? And you are there posing for a photo, getting the thumbs up. Absolutely excellent. And here it is, the 1st place trophy for Dennis Onsu. Lifts it above his head, ecstatic with that one. Can he do it all again tomorrow? That's the big question. Hashtag Asia Talent Cup with your predictions. Be sure to tweet, Instagram and Facebook, all of those, and share just how much you love this excellent race. Here's the Turkish anthem. There you go. Of course, there won't be any cava, any champagne, or any Prosecco on the podium for these young riders there. They all are, of course, underage. 15 to 20-year-olds can compete in the Asia Talent Cup, and as Steve rightly said, there are now initiatives like this opening all over the world. A British Talent Cup set to open soon, and already similar championships happening in Germany and Northern Europe as well. There you can see them all just posing there with their trophies. Nice photo for the fridge. Here we go, just quickly through the highlights. It was a scorching hot race when the lights went out. And it was a great start from the likes of Cooney, Yamanaka, and several other riders there as they charged towards turn 1. It was action from the beginning. Riders 3 abreast through almost every corner. And no space. Big crash there from Suzuki at the start. Luckily, no serious injury there. There's bar bashing between Onsu and number 9, Noguchi there. It's hard racing in the Asia Talent Cup. You can't rest on any laurels. You can't rest on, any qualifying speeds. But when it comes down to the race, it was those 4 riders of Onsu, number 20, Anua, number 5, Cooney, who did emerge as sort of the most consistent riders alongside Yamanaka. They're definitely going to be the ones to watch in race 2 as well tomorrow. Lots of potential there for those young riders. Turn 3, a favourite overtaking spot of everybody, as we said, with the camber on that corner and just the double apex nature of it. There are a couple of different lines through there. Onsu seemed to have that corner sorted, and it was eventually the young Turkish rider who crossed line half a second ahead. A couple of guys running wide as they look to gain any position they can. the big number 1 there from the number 7, Ecstatic, with his first ever Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup victory. No doubt it will be the first of many. Can he keep up the speed? Or will we see some other guys emerge? Top speed 214.7 kilometers an hour. That's pretty quick. And that's all from us. Be sure to stay tuned for the World Superbike action coming up next.